Today, we reveal the year's best co-op games. You have friends, right?
Plus, do you want to make six figures playing video games for a living? See how it's done? X-Play starts right now.
Hello and welcome to X-Play, the show that's giving to charity instead of buying gifts. I'm Adam Sessler.
And I'm Morgan Webb. At least that's what we're telling people, right? It works every time.
Coming up, we'll take you inside the year's best co-op games.
Finally, a reason to talk to loved ones.
And we'll look at some of the games to keep an eye out for in 2010.
Then we're going to take you inside the life of Pro Gamer T-Squared, see what it's like to play Halo 3 on the MLG circuit, and watch the world's best players go head-to-head.
And Mr. Sark counts down his top 5 shooters of all time. Call me crazy. I suspect something Halo-related will be on this list.
I'm just guessing.
But first, a reason to have a social life.
It is no secret that the internet is full of vile scum and villains of the highest order.
So naturally, online multiplayer games breed the worst of the worst.
You'd rather play with a friend rather than fight these jackals. You just need a good co-op game.
Here are a few of our favorites from this year.
Your family and friends gather around the Christmas tree, menorah, or non-denominational snowman, it's time to share a little video game joy. Keep these titles in mind, they have some of the best co-op play. First off, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 has a mode called Special Ops, which features 5 groups of individual missions with 3 difficulty levels. The missions are unrelated to the main story, but use some of the same locations. You can replay the missions at different difficulty levels to try and improve your timing and gather more bonuses. A split-screen mode lets 2 players enjoy Borderlands, and up to 4 can play over a network. But be warned, the game compensates for the extra players by upping the toughness of the enemies. And for those who can't play nice, you can duke it out 1-on-1, 2-on-2, or have an anything goes free-for-all. While Left 4 Dead 2's campaign mode can be played solo, it's really designed for 2 to 4. Versus mode and the new Scavenge mode let you pit survivors against the infected. Zombies. The only thing better than killing one is being one. You can never go wrong with Halo, and Halo 3 ODST brings some of the best multiplayer action we've seen. The brand new Firefight mode pits you against wave after wave of enemies, with random levels of difficulty. And don't let your buddy slack off. Cooperative players share one pool of lives between them. And for something a little lighter, don't forget Beatles Rock Band. This new rock band introduces new modes and features, including a special 3-part vocal harmony system. There may be a little squabbling over who gets to be John and who's stuck being Ringo. But once you've formed your own Fab Four, you get to play tons of the Beatles hits. Make sure to invite your own personal Yoko to hang out and watch. This holiday season, go easy on the eggnog. Remember, it's not okay to drink and drive, but it is okay to drink and kill zombies.
All right, if you guys have friends like I do, this was a very good year for co-op. I mean, we had Modern Warfare 2, we had Borderlands, Left 4 Dead 2, Halo 3 ODST, the Beatles Rock Band, just a ton of massive games.
Yes, those are the ones we just saw, but those were definitely not the only games that feature co-op gameplay this year. The other one that I think doesn't get as much attention because the single-player game was so strong is Uncharted 2.
Absolutely.
Right.
There's some very, very fun sequences that are kind of lifted out of the game that you can play with 2 other friends. And there's something, it does feel very much like an action movie.
I think this is a game people are going to start revisiting January, February, March, maybe when some of the game, well, I guess January is big too, but when some of the game releases start slowing down, I think people are going to go back to Uncharted a lot and just kind of revisit the multiplayer and revisit the co-op.
I think one of the best is, if you haven't tried it out, because it's multi-tiered, if you're standing by a wall and someone else snipes the bad guys that might be above you, then all of a sudden it literally is raining men. And it is one of the odder, more surreal things I've seen in a video game.
You've been wanting to work that song lyric into this show for so long.
There we go.
So then, of course, there's Resident Evil, which based its entire game really around co-op. And that did not work that well.
I mean, the co-op is significantly superior to the single-player campaign where you have to deal with AI that just can't be dealt with very well. But
which is shocking considering Resident Evil 4 was such a great single-player game, and then suddenly going into 5, it's like, wow, the single-player's not good, and the co-op not so good either, and you need to play it in co-op.
Somebody at some point should have said to them, like, It's not a good idea.
Just free roaming controls. Things have changed. It's called Gears of War.
Now, but what we are seeing here, and this is something that I know we're all very excited about, is that this trend continues to grow into 2010. Co-op, obviously a very big part of a lot of big games next year. We've got Lost Planet 2. It's got 4-player co-op, which is going to be awesome, right?
I mean, it's kind of like, I like to call it Phantasy Star Salamander. Because it's like Phantasy Star Online, but they're big salamander creatures. And it really is just that work together, you know, get the new weapons, get, you know, boost yourself up, and then you get to look special.
What is exciting to just kill giant bug creatures with your friends. So I'm looking forward to that. And we shouldn't also forget about Army of Two for you today. It comes out just in the beginning of January. They just missed that Christmas window, and that's, you know, definitely Easter.
So if you get a friend for Christmas, Army of Two.
Then you're set.
Tom T-Square Taylor is a regular on Next Play, and I'm sure you hear the words pro gamer thrown around when he makes an appearance. It's no joke. The guy is a professional gamer and makes serious money doing what many of you do every night for free. Talk trash and kill people in Halo 3. Here's an all-access look inside the life of T-Squared.
What's going on in the house? Let me hear y'all make some noise!
Hey, what's up, everybody? Tom T-Squared Taylor here, and I'm at MLG Anaheim 2009 on the pro circuit, and I'm with my team Straight Rippin'.
MLG, Major League Gaming, is the professional competition league for video gamers, with everything from sponsorships to live ESPN coverage. Celebrity player Tom Taylor and his team Straight Rippin' won the top spot in 2008 and are here in Anaheim working their way up the ladder towards another win. So far this year, they're ranked second. Here in Anaheim, the stakes are high. If they don't perform, they could lose their shot at the Halo Championship.
The championships is what matters. We gotta defend our title, and it's for $100,000.
In the gaming community, Tom is a celebrity, and his career is the holy grail for every aspiring player.
He had his likeness on 175 million bottles of Dr. Pepper last winter, and he's frequently on television. He's been featured in ESPN, the magazine, on ESPN television, in Stuff magazine as one of the top 30 under 30, I think above LeBron James in the magazines.
In 2006, Tom Taylor and Straight Rippin' signed a $250,000 sponsorship contract with Major League Gaming.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Straight Rippin' Penthouse. How cool is that? So this is all hooked up from Dr. Pepper. It beats sleeping on an air conditioner, which I used to do to go to tournaments.
As the face of MLG, Tom Taylor has a lot of pressure on him. Sponsors make sure he's got what he needs to prepare.
We have the official MLG tournament setup in our room. We have 4 TVs on this side with 4 Xbox 360s, all hooked up into a router with Xbox Live. There's only a couple of stretches that I do, like at the tournament. It's all about your back, you know? You wanna just try to get your lower back in shape because you're sitting on your freaking ass all day. So you gotta make sure that you're taking good care of your back.
Tom heads over to the convention center to prep for his first match and sign autographs.
You can always tell when someone wants an autograph because they do the autograph dance. They kind of just like sitting there waiting around for you to get done with whatever you're doing, and then they like come up to you. Like there's usually a crowd of like 5 of them talking about what's going on so they can plot on getting in on the autograph. It's pretty funny.
North of 49 came all the way from Canada. Their first match, Straight Rippin'.
They were pretty good. You know, they had good strategies. We had played them online before, but the skill level between, you know, a top 5 team and then a top 16 team is pretty big. The skill gap's pretty big.
Tom checks out tomorrow's competition, Carbon. In Dallas, they shut out Straight Rippin' 3-0. But Saturday's not just about revenge. Straight needs to beat Carbon to have a shot at #1.
I'm just going to talk to the guys and evaluate how we were playing and maybe go over some strategies or something like that, grab a bite to eat, and then pass out. No fun in games here. It's pretty boring, but it's what you got to do to win.
That night, the team relaxes with massages courtesy of Dynaflex. They go to bed early and get ready for day 2 and a tough match.
Oh, yes.
Stick around because we've got more X-Play on the way, including the continuing adventures of T-Squared. Find out what happens when the Straight Rippin' team faces some unexpectedly rough competition. Plus, Mr. Sark counts down his top 5 shooters of all time. We'll be right back.
X-Play. And Mr. Sark lives and breathes shooters to the point where I think he's getting some photosynthesis-like nourishment from blasting people. So when he tells you to play something, you should probably trust him. Here are his top 5 favorite franchises of all time.
First-person shooters are one of my favorite genres, and judging by sales numbers, I don't think I'm the only one. These are my current favorite shooters. Number 5, Team Fortress. As a franchise, Team Fortress is a pretty minimal series, but the second installment is a masterpiece of art design, game balance, and DLC updates. On top of that, it's hilarious. Also, if you're not playing it on the PC, you're not doing it right. Number 4, Battlefield. The Battlefield series keeps on taking stabs at the massive FPS experience I hope is perfected someday. With its push towards fully destructible environments, Bad Company burned a lot of my hours, and I expect Bad Company 2 will be even crazy. Number 3, Ghost Recon.
Weapons free, fire!
One of my favorite franchises of all time across all genres. My favorite thing about Recon is its touches of simulation without losing the element of fun. Big maps, realistic damage models and movement.
Let's move.
And cool toys. The third-person stuff in GRA was a drawback for me, but it's cool. I hear Ghost Recon Predator is going back to the series' FPS roots next year. Number 2, Call of Duty. I like war movies, so I like Call of Duty. Even the multiplayer cinematic, and now with Modern Warfare 2 in my Xbox, which is my preferred COD vehicle, there's an almost World of Warcraft-like element of unlocking new stuff and completing challenges. Prestige mode? Not for me. Number 1, drum roll, Halo.
We're coming in too fast!
What else? I've been in love with the series from the moment my dropship crashed onto the ring world. Sure, I'll be playing Modern Warfare 2 for the next several months, but that doesn't change the fact that I think Halo 3 is a more polished experience, and in my opinion, more fun to play as a team. I feel that Halo 3 nearly perfected the formula Bungie began in Halo 2, so I expect Halo Reach to be a significantly different experience. And it's not so far away.
Okay, at first, the idea of playing Halo 3 as your job might seem incredibly far-fetched and ridiculous, but that is exactly what Tom T-Square Taylor does, and he does it well. Here's an all-access look at the Pro Gamers' recent tournament in Anaheim, where the competition was anything but a cakewalk.
I went into the room early to see what they were doing for breakfast. Tom comes running in, headphones on, backpack on, refreshed, completely ready to go. Who's ready to win?
On the main stage, Straight Rippin' and Carbon get ready for today's first match. Carbon shut out Tom and the guys in Dallas. Now they've got to beat them to stay in the championships.
Here we go, everybody. It's the rematch from Dallas. Carbon versus Straight Rippin' on the main stage.
From the start, the crowd is rooting for Carbon. Straight gets a 4-0 lead, but Carbon catches up and takes the first game.
One of my strategies was to talk a little trash, get in their head. I'm not a big trash talker, I used to be, but I'm friends with all the guys, but I had to throw out a couple of little comments.
Straight takes the second and third games.
In the beginning, it was like a huge roar of fans going for Walshy and Carbon, but as Straight started to win, all the bandwagoners tend to veer towards the Straight sides.
Straight wins the fifth game, and they're on to the semifinals.
That was our match that we really wanted to win. I think we played really well. We executed perfectly. Oh, yes. Round 2 is over. Round 3 is coming up.
That night, Straight faces off with PT Dynasty to see who goes to the finals. It was a surprise that PT got this far, but Tom knows to be careful.
We make sure we don't overlook any teams also. We don't want to make any big mistakes like that or get too overconfident.
Straight makes short work of Dynasty. It's been a grueling day, but it's not over yet. They return to the main stage to face Triggers Down, the top-ranked team.
Our goal is to be the first team to win back-to-back tournaments, and I think we'll try to do that here and then have the home court advantage in Orlando.
The first game is Capture the Flag Onslaught. Straight takes an early lead, but Triggers Down comes from behind to take it 5-3. Game 2, Triggers pulls ahead fast and never loses their lead. Straight rallies for Game 3 and wins it. Game 4 is close, but Straight rides their momentum to victory. The match is tied 2-2. In Game 5, Triggers jumps ahead. Despite Elamite's impressive 18-12 kill ratio, Triggers never loses their lead. They'll move on to the championship, while Straight will have to beat the third-ranked team tomorrow to keep their shot at the #1 spot. It's a tough loss for Tom.
I'm watching this match.
If Straight can beat Carbon again tomorrow, they'll have a second chance to beat Triggers Down and win the tournament.
Honestly, the best thing that you can do is just come back to the room, watch TV, and try to wind down as much as possible because you're so pumped up and you have so much adrenaline from your last match that it's almost impossible to sleep. I think as long as we just play our normal game, it should be fun.
After the break, find out if T-Squared can pull out a victory at MLG Anaheim. The shocking conclusion is coming up right after this. Welcome back to X-Play. Throughout the show, we've been following pro gamer T-Squared as he attempts to win some cash money at MLG Anaheim. If you ever want to know what it'd be like to be making a living playing Halo 3, well, here is your chance. It's not as easy as one would think.
When we wake up, I usually take a shower, wake myself up, play a lot of music. I think music is really big for getting our team pumped up. What we'll do is we'll head down to the venue about an hour beforehand and scrimmage against another team to see how our communication is doing, see if our strategies are working, see if there's anything else that we want to tweak, and then eventually we go into the match against Carbon.
Straight takes the stage to face off against Carbon again. It was 3-1 yesterday, but the pressure is on Tom and the guys. If they lose this, they'll be ranked 3rd in the league.
For some reason, I can't play without a really clean controller, so I have to make sure that my controller is always constantly clean. It's just like, that's the only superstition I guess I have.
Today, the match is 6 out of 11 games. Carbon takes an early lead, inching towards a comeback, but Straight catches up and puts it at 3-2. Carbon has lost their momentum. Straight wins Team Slayer Amplified 50-29. Carbon rallies and ups their deficit to 5-3. But Straight carries the 6th game and moves on to a rematch with Triggers Down.
I felt exhausted at the end, but you gotta keep fighting through it. We played so many matches today. Man, Halo's like a workout.
Without a break, Straight preps for their fight with Triggers Down.
We make sure that nothing's around us, nothing in our peripherals or anything like that, but you gotta have warm hands, you can't have cold gaming hands.
Straight are exhausted, but managed to keep the score almost even at 3-2.
Oh, the crowd was great. They swayed both ways, a little bit of a bandwagon going on.
Tom and the guys rally for very close games, 6-7, and they're now at a 4-3 lead. Triggers Down bests them in the following 2 games for a 5-4 lead. The 9th game is so close the teams even have identical kill numbers. It's make or break for Straight. Triggers Down only needs one more victory. In Team Slayer construct, Tom leads the guys through a very close match and squeaks through with a 50-49 victory.
After the construct Team Slayer game, I went to commercial break and took a little bit of momentum away.
Game 11, the final round that will determine the victors.
We've never had a battle like that. I mean, the teams were so evenly matched and we're heading back and forth. Finally ended up going to game 11 and it was one of our better game types.
But Triggers Down pulls ahead in Team Slayer Amplified. Straight catches up, but Triggers takes the lead again. And this time, Straight can't catch up. The final score, 50-41. Triggers Down win their 2nd tournament in a row.
Sometimes, video games can be a little bit like poker. You could have the best hand and still lose. But I'm not too upset because I know that, we played our best and they played their best and they just had a little bit more practice than us. So I am physically and mentally exhausted right now.
It's a disappointment for Tom and Straight Rippin', but they're ready to rally for Tournament 5 and the championship.
All right, everybody, T-Squared here, signing out from Anaheim. Sorry we didn't take first place, but, you know, we'll try harder next time in Orlando. See you there.
Coming up on X-Play, think you've got time to catch up on 2009's games? Think again. We'll have in-depth looks at 2 blockbuster games coming out sooner than you think. BioWare's epic space saga Mass Effect 2 and 2K's mysterious follow-up to our 2007 Game of the Year, BioShock 2. Plus, we'll have reviews of all the new releases, including Darksiders, the tale of an apocalypse gone seriously awry, Army of Two, the 40th Day, the over-the-top co-op shooter, Bayonetta, the new game from the creator of Devil May Cry, and Dark Void, Capcom's journey inside the Bermuda Triangle. All that and more, don't miss it.
I am super excited for all of those games.
I know.
Except for Bayonetta.
And that's January. That's January. Up next, it's Attack of the Show.
Thank you for watching X-Play. Good thing I'm all caught up on this year's games.
See?